Happy Fragrant Friday, Fraghead. Hey everybody, this is Ben here at That Cologne Guy, coming at you with a new review. How are you doing? I hope you're doing well. Of course, this is the small yet spirited channel that welcomes you to your weekend every single Friday with new content, and of course wishes you a very fragrant Friday indeed. You've seen the title and the description, and so you know now that I am checking out Météor this week by Louis Vuitton. My first time with this house, and it is an eau de parfum. As you can see, it does mean meteor in French, Météor. It does mean meteor. So this is my first time with the Louis Vuitton, so I feel kind of fancy. This was yet another subscriber send-in, so I really appreciate that about you guys. So thank you very much for sending this in. And I will say a few things about this one. This might be a relatively short episode, but it's because I kind of have this one figured out in some ways, and in other ways I don't. I seared through this. I really burned through this in like 2 days. And I clearly really, really enjoyed it. It smells divine. And the one thing I want to dispel right now is, for a citrus-based fragrance, some of them, for me at least, can smell a little bit like citronella. They can smell a little bit like insect repellent or mosquito repellent, like off, things like that, that has a very pungent kind of lemony smell. You know the smell that I'm talking about for citronella, and it's kind of off-putting. And so, no pun intended with off. I did not mean that. But I will say that this one does not have that element for me. For me, it does not have the element of like an insect repellent. Don't be surprised if you do see that, though, for people who didn't care for it. I can't say that. I did not get that, and I thought that it smells absolutely divine. So this one is a 2020 citrus aromatic. You're going to get orange, bergamot, neroli, cardamom, and then vetiver oil from me. Now, I did also mention nutmeg and pepper, and I pink pepper and black pepper actually, and I can't, and I think Szechuan pepper. So there's a lot of pepper in here, and I would not have come up with that. I was genuinely surprised that so many peppers were listed, because I can get orange, bergamot, neroli, cardamom, vetiver, but I would not have come up with like nutmeg and the peppers. So I just wanted to point that out. To me, this one is very, very much citrus based, and I found it addicting. You guys know that when you have a fragrance that you really enjoy, and you kind of find yourself smelling yourself, the fragrance on yourself, and I definitely did that with this one. The second thing that I want to go over, though, is what it smells like. This one is like 50% Chrome Azzaro, 25% Dolce & Gabbana, Pour Homme, and then CK1, 25%. So like 50, 25, 25. It is not a dupe or a clone of any of those three at all. And I want to be very clear with my words. It smells better than any of those three or all three, but the price tag. So it's 50% Chrome Azzaro, 25% CK1, and 25% Dolce & Gabbana Pour Homme. Now, those are all heavy hitters in the designer community. They're wonderful. This one smells better than those. If I had to choose, I'd say it's barely beats out Dolce & Gabbana, because I really like that one a lot. But man, you can't take away how addicting this was to smell. I really liked it. The question, though, becomes this. It is $345 retail, so from the Louis Vuitton website, 345 body parts, as Julio calls it, USD, for a 3.4 ounce, 100 milliliter, or guess how much for 200 milliliters, or 6.8 ounces, so a double bottle essentially. You are looking at a whopping $485. That's just way, way too much. So the question becomes, is it better than the three fragrances that I mentioned? Yes. Is it worth it though? I don't think that it is for me. If you're really strapped for cash, you can do great if you get a Chrome Azzaro tester. It is not as good as this. It's not, but it's close enough for $20. Let's just say it's $34 for a Chrome Azzaro full bottle tester. You're still looking at 1/10 of the price of this, and I just think that it's kind of worth it, to get the designer. So do I like this one? I absolutely loved it. It does smell very high end, very niche. But man, I just can't really pull off the price tag when it comes to this fragrance. Too bad, because it is outstanding, actually. So that is what's going on with the smell. Now let's get to the categories with the longevity, projection, and sillage. When it comes to projection, it did quite well. This is an EDP and functions as such. And so for the projection, I did get, 3 feet or 1 meter for quite some time, a rock solid 6 to 8 hours, and probably closer to 6, but I'm still happy with that because then it settled down closer to the skin, which is fine anyway. So longevity, I did get a work shift out of this. Coming in out of the outdoors was fine, no problem. So I'm happy with the 6 to 8 hours that I got. It was closer to 8, so you will get a full work shift, or if you put this on at, let's say you put it on at 5 o'clock at night, then you will make it till 1 a.m. quite easily. Now, sillage was good. I mean, sillage was coming in out of rooms, walking past people. I think you would get noticed if you sprayed enough. Your scent bubble, your scent trail would be good enough to get noticed and asked. And so for the first, I would say 3 to 5 hours when you walk by somebody, they will ask you what you're wearing. It's a very regal, nice, distinguished fragrance, refreshing. The list goes on, and I quite like it about this fragrance. I'm going to read what they have on their website, and then we will see if that really lives up to it. The sizzle of spicy mandarin awakens boundless energy, a magnetic name that evokes power and light, a fragrance that arouses fascination in its wake, like the dazzlingly flamboyant clouds that so captivate humankind. To capture such exhilarating energy, Master Parfumé Jacques Cavalier Belletrude chose the Sicilian mandarin, an ingredient of such exceptional quality it infuses the perfume's heart with ethereal freshness, resonating as it comes into contact with a trio of peppers. As the signature Java vetiver reveals its noblest facets, at once fresh, earthy, and ambery, making the enchantment complete. Infusing elements of sky and earth, Météor reveals a contemporary elegance that knows no limit. I don't know about the knows no limit part, but and I also don't know about the earthy aspect of the pepper. I don't get that, but I really do appreciate the overall citrus elements in here, and they clearly are niche. When you wear this fragrance, you do feel uplifted, regal, expensive. It kind of corny and kind of cliche and cringy, as they say, but it is true, and I do appreciate that about this fragrance. I really, really liked it. It's kind of similar to my last week when I talked about A Game of Joy by House of Daston, where I said, it's good, but just not worth the price. This one is better than that. This one is divine, and I really appreciated it. But yeah, 200 smackers for me is about all I'm going to do. 480, a whopping 485 for 6.8 ounces, just too pretentious for me to get over. Let's get to age and gender. Now, when it comes to age, I do see this, or let me start with gender, actually. I do see this one as slightly more masculine, and I do see it as like a 66-34 split. I think 66% of the people who wear it will be and wanted it will be men, and 34% would be women. A woman could pull this off quite easily. This would be another great fragrance actually for the millennial couples that like to wear the same fragrance. This would actually work for you in that regard because it is uplifting and refreshing and just quite nice, and I do think it is is masculine leaning, but unisex. Now, when it comes to the age, there's nothing that jumps out here other than I'll just say, I guess I'll say 40 and up because that's the only people that can probably afford it. But no, all jokes aside, I would say 25 and up. I don't see too many college students rocking this juice. Season. This is definitely a very bright summer, spring fragrance that's going to shine in those parts of the year. You could wear it in the fall and the winter as well, though. But I just mean it is associated with spring and summer. Now, I found it actually very versatile. I liked it a lot in different formalities when it comes to clothes and events. So I found it very versatile indeed, and that was definitely one thing that I considered when I gave it the rating, which I'm going to talk about right now. This one is, for a citrus-based fragrance to have no citronella, bug spray, mosquito repellent aspect to it, for me, I really like that. And I mean, the proof is in the proverbial pudding in the sense that, I just could not wear enough of this. I really enjoyed it. I'm tempted to go 5 out of 5, actually, but I am going to ding it for the ridiculous, pretentious price tag. And so I'm going to go with 4 out of 5 sprays this week for Météor by Louis Vuitton. And these will be faux sprays because I am long gone when it comes to this fragrance. Long gone. So let me do 1 on each side of the neck. Doesn't really matter, but 1 on each wrist. Again, faux sprays. 4 out of 5 for this 2020 Louis Vuitton release. This one was actually a tough review because in some ways I just absolutely am addicted to it. Because I just sprayed, now I can smell just a tiny amount. It is very addicting. I have to give it that. But man, $4.85 for 6.8 ounce. No way. Boom. 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 And there was one day when I even considered that before I saw how much it cost, I thought to myself, something like this could actually be a signature scent for me. I liked it that much. I expected compliments, didn't get any, but it seriously does have a clear, niche, high-quality element to it. Okay, there you have it. Another review by the boards. Météor by Louis Vuitton, 2020 Citrus Aromatic. I really enjoyed searing through this one this week, and I hope you appreciate the review. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. If nothing else, make sure you leave your scent of the day and sense of the week. And if you can comment on this one, I would love to hear your thoughts. You guys take care. Have a great week, and always remember, my friends, fragrance marks the celebration of today. Take care, everybody. Fun one, and I will be looking for a discounted version or price of this one. And I just got a text. 1, 2, 3. I have thoroughly enjoyed this one. Actually, it's been a fun review because in some ways I got another one. Yeah. 1, 2, 3.